to the hustle. Yes, and I have my next guest. I'm so excited to have Robert Gatewood. Gatewood and I go, I can't even tell.
Hey,
I forget how far back we go. But anyway, he has been such a nice guy. He had me come on and get some real good, radio work and all that stuff with his show and Marketing Pulpit.
oh yes.
But Robert Gatewood himself, that's the marketing guru in the DMV, Robert.
Been called worse.
So
I'll take it.
Tell us all about the Marketing Pulpit. I can't believe you are still doing the Marketing Pulpit.
10 years.
10 years.
It'll be 10 years this year, next year.
Really?
Yes, it has a story. Thing about starting a business or organization, if you got a backstory,
Yes.
a mission, a
Yes.
purpose.
Yes.
Well, mine came, my dad was a Baptist minister,
Yes.
and people used to ask me, when are you going to become a minister? They're like, I'm like, I don't want to be a minister. I'm a bad guy. They wouldn't have me in the pulpit, right? Well,
It takes all kinds, Robert.
that's true. That is true. There are some bad guys in the pulpit, too. But anyway, I had a knack for marketing. I've been in marketing for about almost 30 years
Really?
as my own business owner and have my own business. But I had this, tell you a little story. Most people cannot afford my service.
Yes.
But that's not a reason not to give them the service.
Okay.
So I had to start a ministry because people needed this service so badly.
Yes, they
Not
do.
having money was not a good enough excuse.
Okay.
So I started Marketing Pulpit as a ministry. So I'm a minister after all.
Oh, wow.
And so that's how the show got its name. My dad was a minister, so I used to go to church with him and watch him and up in the pulpit. And I was looking for a name for my radio show, which I started with Radio 1. And my dad happened to be in hospice around the same time my show was about to go on the air.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh man, what can I do to honor my dad?
Yeah.
So I named the show Marketing Pulpit in his honor. That's how I got started 10 years ago.
Wow,
So-
wow, that is wonderful. And he's been blessing you all along. He's
All
been
along.
right there with you, championing the show.
That's what I keep
all
hearing.
along.
I keep saying, I wish my dad were here to watch me. And everybody says, oh, he's up there watching you anyways. I believe that.
He's just pushing those wings of yours,
That's right, that's right.
there behind you, pushing you along.
So-
But you have grown it so much, though, in 10 years. I mean, so where are we? I know that you say international, and I know you had started it right around that time when we were still kind of when me and Maxwell were still working on the show. What exactly does that mean, international?
Well, we expanded our vision and our scope and our reach. We actually have affiliates and people that tune in from Nigeria, from Liberia. Matter of fact, about a month ago, we had a young man on the show. He's actually from Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
And we're trying to expand the show into Africa.
Oh, wow.
So
That's awesome.
So we're making connections.
Right.
And
Took miles.
so my story is it's like every business's story. It's about making connections, understanding the marketplace, the lay of the land, and understanding that everybody is not your customer. But you know what? I'm going to tell you a little story.
Wow.
About the marketing pulpit.
Everybody's not your customer.
There are so many
Unless you McDonald's. Right?
McDonald's.
You
Even
always
McDonald's.
used to say, you go, wait a
Even-
minute. Are you marketing to everybody?
Even McDonald's. Everybody's not McDonald's customer. Because I know many people that won't go to McDonald's. They won't go to the place. But I'm like the poster boy of marketing. How things start small, grow up, blow up, fall off, start over again.
Right.
I've done all of that. So that's why when I speak marketing, I can speak from experience. And the radio show is no exception. Now, luckily with the radio show, now there's so many stories in this, but when I started the radio show, it was not to make any money. Figure that, right?
Wow.
It's
Okay.
like, what's wrong with this guy? I know many people turned off the dial as soon as I said that.
No, they're like, wait a minute. I thought he's a marketing
Wrong
guy.
show.
What are you talking about? That's what marketing is about.
But boy, let me tell you, you got to have the right mindset. And so when I started the show, it was because, like I said, my marketing company was doing very well. But so many people came into the door who could not afford my services. And so I was like, what are these people supposed to do? Send them out here and let them fail and go to the wolves? So I started the radio show to help people because marketing is an intangible. It's not something you can pick up, you can feel, you can see. So what you have to do is engage in a education process. Because there's two types of advertising. There's the direct action, which most people understand. That's where you run an ad and somebody said a good call to action, come by it, come by the shop. But then there's another kind that's very important, and that's called indirect or communication, which means you have to nurture, you have to educate, you have to drag along. And so that's what the radio show did. Even though I didn't start it to make any money, I realized it was one of those foundational things of marketing where it was communicating, it was nurturing, and by the time they understood marketing,
Right.
they were ready to become a client. So the first year I was on Radio 1, I did not make one penny with that radio show. I'm just pouring money
You
in.
just funded it completely.
But see, these are the lessons of marketing.
Yeah.
Because most people, they start a business, well, many people, I can't say most. I'm not going to generalize today because there are times to generalize, but we call that profiling. But as I was building the marketing pulpit, I was starting to realize that I have to keep telling this story because everybody has a story, and I need to provide a platform for people to tell their story as well.
Right.
And so it started to click about the second year. People started calling me. I never forget this guy. He was a day trader. He did, I guess, the stock market during the day. One of his people called me out of the blue.
Oh, wow.
Hey, we understand you have this radio show that reaches a certain audience, and we're trying to reach that audience. Do you take advertisers? I'm like, shoot, I have to put together an advertising package. I'm like, whoa, what's going on here?
Right, yeah.
And Alena said the next thing I know it, people calling. I mean, it's like every week somebody was calling saying, how do I get on the show?
Right.
Now, this is not to promote the show. I'm talking marketing today and how a business grows, it evolves from nothingness. You have to start with a mission, a foundation, a purpose.
It has to be personal to you.
That's exactly right.
Yes, it has to be personal. And that's what I've always seen. That's why, and it's funny because a light bulb moment when you said that just went off in my head because when I was thinking about this show, I said, what is probably the most personal to me?
Right.
And the most personal, besides the fact that I have been obviously a mother of 2 kids and raised them, was the fact that, one of my daughter's coaches said, Alena, you know what? You overachieve like a mother. And I said, what does that mean? But, at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? The name of my show is going to be, and then a friend of mine said, well, what about side hustle? Because it's kind of like your side hustle. So I said, yeah. And then someone else kind of recommended and said, hey, Alena, you don't want to be promoting nothing that's on the side of you. You want to be promoting something that's in front of you that you want to push along as if that's just your baby. So it needs to be the hustle.
The hustle.
So I said, yeah.
I love
so
it.
That's how it came.
When Maxwell, our other co-host, I used to talk. We talk among ourselves, and I would say one thing I like about Alena. I said, man, she's a hustler. I said, Alena,
That's right.
she is
You
always.
used to say that.
I run across so many people, and I said, what people don't see that I see in Alena, I see somebody who never stops hustling, and that's a positive. Sometimes hustling get a negative connotation.
Right.
People think people hustling on the side of the street or doing something nefarious, but whenever I say hustle in a business context, talking about people like yourself and myself, we out there doing the grind. We understand we can't let grass grow under our feet.
Yes.
We are committed to our passion.
Yes, we are so committed. Let me tell you, my kids will say sometimes, I'll be like, don't you know you got to do this, and you got to do it, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. And then my son would be like, Mom, can we not hear the lemons to lemonade story today? And I'm like, let me tell you, I'm going to tell you the lemon to lemonade story till I'm 100 years old.
No, I've been a fan of yours since the first day we met. I said, this lady has grit. I use these 3 M's to business success. One was the mission and mindset.
Okay.
You have to go into it with a greater purpose, a greater calling. I think the French call it the raison d'etre. And that was like the first one. I said, well, she has that. And then the second one was moxie. That's that sheer will, determination.
Too much of that.
You gotta want to do it. I mean, you gotta never give up.
Yeah, I'm my grandfather's child on that. I'm my mother's kid on that one.
Nah,
you
so-
know.
So I think that people observing you and your show, they see a really kind of like the embodiment of many of the things that I talk about in successful businesses.
Yes, you
You
do.
can't jump into it expecting to get rich overnight. I don't measure richness necessarily by how much money you have in the bank. That's why you have to be into this for the long haul. I have a lot of clients, people like Joe Madison, people like that have been with me for many years. But the thing that they have in common is that they stick to it. Joe Madison just was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame.
Yes.
I gave him his first website. I didn't sell it to him.
Oh,
I gave it to him because
Wow.
early on I understand the power of influencers.
Yes.
Well, influencers have the new relevance now in social media lexicon.
Yes.
But the concept has been around forever.
Yes.
You find someone who
Yes.
has influence, you
Yes.
gain their favor,
Yes.
let them be a spokesperson for you,
Yes.
and that's a good marketing strategy.
Yeah.
So there's so many stories in my story, and I would say to the audience, don't try to be me, don't try to be you, be yourself and find a way to monetize it, and don't be afraid to get help.
Right, right, yeah. You know, what I wanted to ask you though was, is it good though, Robert, to align your businesses with people who are doing almost the same thing as you, and maybe you collaborate on certain projects or you come together on certain clients? Because I'm just saying, I mean, do we're better together than we are as competitors. Do you see that happening more?
I think
With
it's
social media now, and
I think it's imperative, particularly in our community, because we don't have the resources of some of the other communities, and we understand the whole history of slavery and Jim Crow, and even to now, we see redlining and all kind of things that are keeping our money down.
right,
So it's more imperative for us to collaborate. Because we take advantage of economies of scale. That's where you pool your resources. You can buy things in greater bulk and get the unit cost down. And so there's so many reasons to work together. Even things like marketing. I mean, you can run advertising together. You can share office space. You can share staff. So, and even if somebody's in your same industry, that's not a reason not. Because another problem that sometimes has found its way into our community is the lack of trust among ourselves. And I see other communities collaborating all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you see these guys that are they're like mortal enemies. Next thing you know, they're in a room together, signing contracts, working together. But it seems like, these are some of the things I talk about on my show. So when I talk about it here, I'm not saying it from a negative standpoint. I'm saying these are some of the challenges that our community face that I'm willing to take on the Marketing Pulpit radio show. My show is not about just showing you how to run an ad, how to go on Instagram and do hashtag, all that stuff. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But my show is about mindset. It's about getting people ready to go out here. I used to, and you probably heard me on the show, I used to get on there and talk about everybody should start a business. I don't say that anymore. I'm sorry.
wait a minute. Is that something you learned
That's
in
new.
your tent? That's new.
Yeah. That's not going to
Because
last year.
back then you used to be
Everybody.
like, everybody should have a side
I'd be
business.
beating up on
Everybody
Wait,
should
wait.
have a side hustle.
I'd be beating up on folks at the
Yes.
government. Y'all got your government jobs and y'all.
You should be doing
stop-
something else with your
But
retirement.
let's put an asterisk here.
Okay.
I'm not saying that everybody shouldn't start a business. I'm saying that everybody's not ready.
Okay.
Too many people.
You mean to leave your job and do
to
your
leave your
business.
job or to even start spending money even on your side business. If you don't have the knowledge, the expertise, haven't partnered with the right people, understand the industry, understand the life cycles, understand the reasons people buy, the 4 P's of marketing. There are some foundational things that every business owner should understand before they even, hang up their shingle.
Right.
And
right.
those foundational things, the big companies, they've spent, millions and billions of dollars honing and cultivating over the years
to learn
to
marketing.
learn. Because
Yes.
marketing and advertising is not the same.
Yeah.
Marketing is the mental part.
Yes.
Yes.
Advertising is the
That's the part, delivering those impressions.
yes.
And you can't deliver those impressions and get the return on that investment
Right.
if you haven't done your marketing.
Yes.
And that's the part I try to get people to understand every week on the Marketing Pulpit radio show. So we tackle a topic. I mean, look at it. We got right now people out here stabbing each other with chicken sandwiches. Because Popeyes, just like Nike, just like Apple, just like Harley Davidson, Mercedes-Benz, they understand there's three things that can sell anything under the sun. The first one is scarcity. There's not enough to go around. The second one is security, or we might call fear factor. Or right now it's like FOMO, fear of missing out. The third one is social proof, herd mentality, keeping up with the Joneses. You put those three things together, you can sell anything under the sun. That's why people are body slamming and stabbing at Popeyes, because
Cutting lines
right in our neighborhood.
acting like they ain't gonna get one.
Right in our neighborhood, we have a
Yes.
mentality because of this frenzy that marketing. It's marketing that did this. Marketing, understanding marketing is like having a loaded gun, no pun intended. And people like myself, when I'm out here talking marketing, I almost have to give people, like when they finally come into the market, that light bulb comes on, I almost feel like I gotta give them a disclaimer. Use with care. Because, like I said, Popeyes understands it. Apple understands it. Apple, they introduced a new phone today that's gonna be a line out the door. So what I try to do
Because
is...
they're gonna make it scarce.
That's right. So what I try to do is take some of these same techniques that these billion-dollar companies have done and scale it down for the people in our community. Now, we can't go out here and spend the kind of money that Apple and Popeyes have,
Right.
but I'll just give one quick tip today. To get the social proof, we have to get testimonies. We have to get people to go out here and sing our praises for our company. That's something everybody can do today. So if I have to leave one tip today, make it your job by tomorrow, at least by the end of the week. Try to get about 5 to 10 testimonies. And if you want to know a quick way to do it, do a survey. So I'm calling to make sure your service worked okay, that you're happy and pleased and satisfied.
Feedback.
And then they're going to say, oh, yeah, I'm so happy you called. But if you call them up and say, look, I need a testimonial, they're going to hang up. So I don't have time for that.
Right.
Make it about them.
Make it about that.
And that is so much what marketing is about. Making it
Yes.
about them.
About them and their experience
That's right.
with you.
That's right.
So, I mean, that's so good. I wish I had more time, but I'm going to bring you on when we get up and running and do some other things. You got to come back and we got to dedicate like a whole hour to you, because there's so much stuff, marketing stuff. And I forgot how really good it is to talk to you and things like that, because I've been away and I've been so busy. But
you
and
are a
I
marketer.
know
You are a marketer too. That's the other thing I've always said. Alena
I
Savage
know.
is a marketer.
I'm a big mouther. No.
A marketer knows another marketer.
Yes, and I'm a big mouther. So in my marketing. But anyways, tell people how they can reach you.
Okay, I have
About your show.
I have a radio show on Radio 1 called The Marketing Pulpit. It's on every Friday at 10:30 a.m. From 10:30 to 11:30 every Friday. The radio show is live at Radio 1 out of Silver Spring. You can go to the website, marketingpulpit.com, and all of the listening options are there. We're on TuneIn, we're on Facebook Live, and we're on Radio 1. And the number is 301-839-2836. But go to marketingpulpit.com. You'll see all the information right there.
All the info there.
And we have all of the past shows. You can watch them as well.
Oh, really? You got a whole archive
Yes,
on
indeed.
there? Oh, that's good. That's good. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. Later. Bye. Don't forget to get out and vote, too.